It's time for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr. Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Good morning, everyone. And before I start the show, I just want a nice shout out for a dear friend of mine. She's like one of my daughters, really. Natasha Walker. Happy birthday. She's also the one that you received those wonderful e-banners. She's our new social media person, and I'm just so thankful. Thank you so much, Natasha Walker. Happy birthday to you. Now, starting with my wonderful guests, we have a show that's a little different today. I thought we'd do something kind of fun. You know, we need to kind of deep breathe and relax and do something a little fun and show you about some energy things that can happen to you based on your ring placements, the rings on your finger. I mean, their placement and what it can do for you. I was a little skeptical before I met Barbara, a little bit, but she's been a guest before. She's not a stranger from before. She's been a guest of mine, and I tried out some of these techniques, and trust me, they did sort of change some things. So we'll talk about that in the show. But I would like to say my guest today, Barbara Berg, you are actually phenomenal. Yeah. And today's topic is ring shui. So most people know about feng shui. You know, they're so used to dealing with that with furniture and how it changed your life and the energy it relates to your life with furniture and moving things around. But moving things around on your finger has a lot to do with it, your life too. So I want you to tell people first who you are.
Well, I am Barbara Berg, and I have an MSW and have been doing marriage counseling through the last 2 marriages, and I think I'm starting to learn something. And I have to say, as I wrote my first book, What to Do When Life Was Driving You Crazy, and I was wearing rings on my middle fingers, a mentor of mine who knew about energy in the hands, and folks, I didn't even know there was energy in the hands, so forgive me, he said, remove those rings and your life will have more love, less conflict, and better change. And I thought, that's it, I'm ready. And
Yes.
Since I started wearing rings on my index fingers, everything changed for the better. Actually, not even better, for good. And over time, I started observing what people seem to be happy and where they wear their rings, and what people can never be happy and they're committed to being disappointed. Your hands are an extension of your mind, your heart, and your soul. And even Carl Jung will say, the hands will often solve the mysteries that the mind can only fight about in vain.
Yes, I remember you sharing that with me. And we think about energy in our hands. There are meridian points. I used to do biomeridian testing with the meridians in the fingers. And so we know that each one goes to the heart. And if you know about heart energy, colon, and different areas of the body, then you it makes a lot of sense. So I just want to say that I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to share some case studies, and we're going to have fun with this, okay?
Absolutely.
And talk about each finger, what it sort of represents, and wearing the ring next to it, and where the ring came from has a lot to do with what's happening too. So, like I said, so I had some major changes too after changing some things around too with it. And just staying, myself, I stay very prayerful in things that I do, so that my intent and everything is purposeful and helpful for a person. So it's really important for me to stay very grounded and prayerful in the things that I do. And even, and don't get caught up in maybe an object, because I know with energy, with anything, it's going to make a change. And you couple that with prayer first, and then things will start to change in your life with the right intent.
Even the right intent on when to bring something up to someone and when to stand back and say nothing. Quite often, with the ring conversation, do you ever find in the venues of which you work, you want to share it, and then you run into someone and it has that red light, like you're hearing a voice in your head say, no, just smile and just keep going. And I have found literally when I look at hands, where I see the rings placed, I'll get a clue as to when I should move forward sometimes and when I should stand back and say nothing.
Okay.
Because some of ways we connect with people, we're not open to anything new and we're not going to hear it.
Right. So let's get started. Let's put some hands and let people see where we're going with which finger, right hand, left hand. Where do you want to start?
I'd like to start with the right side of your body is the body out to the world. This is where it's the do side of you. When you go to a meeting and you shake hands, you are literally shaking hands with your right index finger, the Jupiter finger, and you're not kidding. And do you ever notice people play the game of who had the hardest?
Oh, yes, like it's a contest.
The hardest handshake.
Oh, yes.
Who can break the hand and who can kind of be wimpy about the whole thing.
Yes.
That's really showing your strength of sometimes competition. But when you wear a ring on your right index finger and perhaps you are shaking hands with another person with their ring on their right index finger, it means we can both win here. This is a beautiful transformational concept. New things can come out of this. It's a win-win, and someone doesn't have to win and someone doesn't have to lose. And if this time period in history is ever a time for that, it's now. This is the bring us all together finger. If we can celebrate someone's birthday, celebrate a changing time, this is your celebration power.
I love it. I love that.
Very important.
That's
finger.
why you see, since I met you, and I just want to share a situation. I know you're going through the fingers and the ring placements. After we met a couple of years ago, I go to seminars and workshops all the time. And I meet wonderful people all the time. But my friend, we decided to go to this workshop, actually had to do with PRP, protein-rich plasma injections. And it was just a small, intimate group, but that was the best seminar. We both said, let's just try it. Let's just try. We're meeting all these people, all this new information years ago. Let's just try our finger here with the ring. And it was amazing. We left with so much information and free. I had people said, do you need this machine? Do you need this? We'll just help you. We'll give it to you. And with both of us. And we have 2 separate businesses. And the reception from that was just amazing. So we said, well, maybe there's some validity, because that's the first time I actually tried it out for myself. And it was really wonderful. So I just wanted to share that with you.
This is the finger where you'll be more inclined to ask. Think of the people that don't get their needs met because they're afraid to ask. They're afraid to be a burden on anyone. They don't want to bother anyone. But deep down, we have asked for help before, and we didn't get what we wanted, and we felt humiliated, dissed, misunderstood, and we will never ask again. That's why it's important to wear rings here. And I can move on now to the right middle finger. The right middle finger ring is a very interesting ring. This is actually the Saturn finger.
Why don't you hold your hand up?
I'm going to hold my hand up.
Yeah.
Now, just for the exercise in all of this, I have this ring. I'm going to take this down. And also, by the way, you see how rectangular this is? That means when I put it out there, I really mean business. On the left-hand side, we're going to see it's more oval. That's the receiving. So, and you've got some rectangular on the side there. Now, right now, what if I go to a party and I go out to the world and I'm wearing a ring on my right middle finger ring? What am I really saying? Oh, what am I really saying? It's saying, I want to meet you, but we're going to fight within 3 months. It's not going to last. I'm not going to be able to trust you, and I'm going to always have to self-protect and think, oh, you can never trust anybody because they're never there for you. That's the right middle finger ring. And many of us wear it. I was. And it means you'll be disappointed in relationships. How many of us over time say, that's it, I'm done, I'm never dating anyone again? That's why I don't advise wearing the ring on the right index or the right ring finger very long. Unless you want to go on a 3-day cruise, get them in your stateroom and throw them out on Monday. That's the only reason to wear the ring on the right middle finger. So I'm going to take that one off. Did I just say that? Oh, girls, it didn't happen. Now,
what about guys? Are you talking about?
Let's discuss. When I first wrote the first Ring Shui book, it was mainly observing women.
Okay.
But men are getting into the act too. And when men get into it, it's just like when they did the earrings. They go for it. Let's go for our guys. So I was in New York City. I couldn't get a bus to go over to the book fair. So I got one of those bicycle rickshaws.
Yes.
The guy with the rickshaw has a ring on his right middle finger. And he was a lot of fun. And I said, what do you do besides this whole writing thing? He said, I'm an actor. I said, how are your jobs going? He goes, they don't last very long. There's the right middle finger ringer.
Okay.
I said, how's your love life? Well, I have girlfriends, but they don't last very long. There's the right middle finger.
Oh, my.
So if you want a short come and go and something you get to be mad at, wear the ring on the right middle finger. This is the Saturn. Saturn is all about he got what he wanted, but not for long. So Jupiter is a manifestor that will have things last longer for you. Which do you want?
Okay.
So let's move on over to this. This is Apollo. This is not narcissism about love. This is real, true, bright light love. When you are looking for new love, or you are just looking to be proud of yourself, or seem stable at a job, wear a ring on the right ring finger. This goes to the heart. This means I'm sincerely waiting for someone to love me, and put a ring over there. If you want to do the whole routine of that. Or I sincerely love myself, and that's that. Often friends will buy a ring for each other. So there's the right ring finger. I'm wearing the swan today because it's just so much fun, and I don't know if I can get her off, and I forgot my Windex. So here she is. She's kind of stuck. Let's get to the pinky. Pinky is Mercury. He was Jupiter's son. He can do a lot of fun things. Don't count on him for long. Like, for instance, someone was talking about wearing a ring on the Apollo finger, the right ring finger, and a pinky next to it. They can go along with each other if they blend. But if you're only wearing a pinky ring, it means deep down you want to run off and get the heck out of there. And if I'm meeting a married couple, and they both might be wearing that wedding ring over there, but one of them is wearing a ring on their right pinky finger, someone wants to take off. I'm telling you right now. It's better to take that pinky finger off here and put it next to the wedding ring. Why? That'll bring energy together. In fact, how I got an award for my book was because the woman had gotten a promotion, was wearing her ring finger, was wearing a pinky ring, and she said, I need you to come on stage, and I really like your style. So I got one of their awards, and up there she said, what do I do? I said, take the pinky finger off and bring it there, and she got closer to her husband. Your fingers do the talking. Why not make use of them? They're already there.
Okay. This is amazing and it's wonderful. And what you're discussing is, the reason why I produced this show here at UBN and have the wonderful people that's working with me, like Jarvis here, that's working mad behind this computer. He's not even smiling this morning because it's got a lot of work going on. But I just thank him so much. Is to bring information to help us on our everyday journey. And this, like I said, this is a very wonderful little show here. Not little, but because it brings information and just information, try it out. Nobody's saying it's 100%, but try it out and see how it worked for you. What do you have to lose? But just wearing a ring. You have nothing to lose.
There's so much depth behind this. So I would say on the right hand, remember, this is what you're bringing out to the world. The thumb is a growing piece for both men and women. When they get their thumb ring, they do feel a sense of power. However, they want to take the ball and run, and they think they know what's better for you. And to the point where they can wear that ring every day of their life for 18 years, skin will grow over it, and they will take care of you till you can't stand it anymore. It's like you rob people's lessons because you're taking care of them and they don't get off the couch because you know how to clean up better than they do.
Yes.
Deep down, what does that really mean in depth? The only way I can have a relationship is if they're so dependent on me, they won't be able to live without me, so I make them super dependent. That's not a sign of high self-esteem.
No, and I noticed that with the person, the very first time we met, and I had an interview with you shortly after, I had a meeting with someone, and they said, I have something I want to introduce to you. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, okay, great. But as this conversation continued, I could tell they wanted to take over. And they wanted me to really buy this product, sign up for it, you have to. And she was just really kind of aggressive. So I finally looked at her hand and I'm like, oh, she has on a thumb ring. And it dawned on me what you had stated on the show. And then when I looked at her other hand, I said, she has a double thumb ring. And then she started to tell me, you need to get rid of your office people and hire me.
Oh,
I can
boy.
do a better job. And I'm like, gee, she just really want to take over. And I start seeing that. So I cut the whole conversation very short. And that was it.
Yeah, and they can actually have projective identification where they then want to be you. Oh, by the way, I borrowed your clothes. It can get that intense.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, let's look at the left hand. The left hand is the sit there. You know, people talk about do, where you have times of doing.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have balance if we don't do sometime and then sit sometimes. I know a lot of times we just don't take that seriously enough where you just sit.
Mm-hmm.
The left thumb person wants to be known as the person that cleans the closet out better than anybody else, folds the towels better. If you ask to help them, they'll say, no, I don't need any help, and then they'll wonder why they're doing everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I will tell you this. When there are layoffs, and sometimes I go to companies when I see this, and I don't say this too often, but the people quite often who will keep the jobs are the people who will wear the ring on the left thumb because they will do the job of 5 and 6 people. They'll get sick, but they'll still be working there 7 o'clock at night.
And then they crash. Mm-hmm.
Then they crash, and then they wonder why they don't get enough awards or anything. Be careful with that thumb ring. If you've been giving and giving and giving, it's time to receive. Move on over to this finger. My favorite, the queen bee. I have to tell you the story on this one. Recently, I went to an award meeting with some actresses who were just old Goldie, the kind of women you just say, oh, yeah, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. I don't know how much they knew about it. They strutted in the most beautiful gowns. It was gorgeous. And what did they have on? A ring on their left index finger. And they walked in like this with the little poodle in the bag. You just had to love it. This is the queen bee ring.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you sit and do nothing. Can I quickly tell you the queen bee story, how I really learned about it?
Yes, please do.
You know how, Doc, when you're writing a book and you're writing something, all of a sudden the people in the whole story show up in your office and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a godsend. I have to write about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm onto this finger, the index finger. And I'm thinking, it's very magical. You just sit there and energy comes to you. This young man had beehives in his truck. That was his job. I don't mind telling you, I've never met anyone with a beehive in my entire life. And he came on in. The beehives are in his truck. And I said, what's the matter? He said, I'm losing business. I have an employee assistance program, and I came to see you. I said, what happened? He said, my bees go to the different hives, and they come out from the hives, and they go to these avocado trees, and they help cross-pollinate. They help the farmer cross-pollinate. They go there with the bees, they cross-pollinate, they come back to the truck, and there they stand. I said, well, what happened? The queen bee forgot to sit. She got all crazy in her head. She went and worked with them. When they were working with the queen bee in the tree, they couldn't recognize her as the queen. They felt deceived by her because you're the one that's got to keep us grounded.
Yes,
And you know what, Queenie? We're not coming back to the truck to you. You're not a queen to us. So they wouldn't come back to the truck. She didn't either. The bees were all over the place, and he wasn't making money. And I sat there because I'm a Douglas girl. I went to an all-women's college, and nobody told me anything about sitting. All right? That didn't happen. Mm-hmm. It was more like you do everything and do it better than any guy in the whole world, and there is no glass ceiling and everything else. Get the A. So I wear this because I get to choose when I do, and I get to choose when I sit. And I realize sometimes in love, we are so nervous about losing it. We jump around somebody and we'll do anything for them. And we don't give them a chance to do anything for us. And they feel unloved and unrecognized.
Yes. I've seen that with a lot.
And we lose it by the third date.
And you've heard how many patients, of clients of yours, being a marriage counselor, you've heard some stories. So I would consider you definitely the expert in this component, because you've seen the stories, you've seen things unravel, and you've seen things come together. And having that type of background and watching, people as they come in telling their story and their journey, amazing. And this is such a wonderful story. It really is.
Well, thank you. We need to have the self-esteem to believe that someone is going to want to do something for us. Mm-hmm. It's said that the princess, she moves her hearth around and she does anything she can to please him. And he gets bored and starts looking at other women. None of this is nice, but that's the way that went down. Or she sits and says, that was very nice. What else you got going? How else can we connect? And she sits. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a nice way to have to keep the person working? Now, our sexualities are moving closer and merging closer today. And I think I might find myself even moving beyond man, women, whatever it is. Who's the person in pursual mode? Who's receptive? Do we take turns? That's what we need to actually cue in with each other.
Yes.
And almost say, hi, are you in receptive mode? Are you in giving? Can we exchange in both? That's something to discuss as couples.
Yes, we certainly do. And you're just amazing. And I'm so happy that we're discussing this today. So let's just move on. We want to get through the ring and some more case studies.
So let's discuss. That left middle finger ring I'm looking over there, because I see this beautiful woman with the left middle finger ring. Women who like to take care of themselves and will wear the left middle finger ring. Often they'll pick up the tab for others. Often they take care of themselves fine. Do be careful. Sometimes if you give that ring a rest and either put it on another finger, just give it a rest, allow others to do for you. Like, let others do for you to the point where you can ask for something and say, I need you. I did a show in New York, and those women were the cougar women.
We're on this finger.
And they said
now.
They would rather die than need somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I find it takes a lot of high self-esteem to say, I can give this and I have need for that, and finding in a place where a person or something is willing to give it to you. Unfortunately, we'll have needs and we'll demand from the very place we can't get it, then we'll demand and we'll be disappointed. Quite often, relationships go wrong when we have expectations of getting something from somebody else where they can't give it and they don't want to. And I see most of that in my office.
Oh, my goodness. How long have you been practicing? How many years?
25 years at my practice. And I seem to be known as these are the couples that can't work, send them to Barb. And let me tell you, we come along pretty darn well because we learned, each one of us, to listen. What's going on with that person?
Yes.
Just let them talk.
Mm-hmm. And that's so important for any relationship, is communication. Communication, you have to have communication.
And being free to say something.
Listen, yes. Yeah, and that happens a lot of time that they don't have it.
Now, can we just quickly touch the finger?
We're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to move on.
Okay, stay tuned, because there's a lot
Stay
of action.
Tuned. I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank our sponsor, which is NuWellness Healthcare. NuWellness Healthcare is a sponsor for our show, NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. And I just want to thank so much our organization. So we're going to thank them. And our component that we're going to speak on is IV therapy that's being done at NuWellness Healthcare. And IV therapy is amazing. You can have an IV treatment for dehydration, for energy, for hangovers. Hopefully we don't have many of those. But actually it really, really helps if you had a bachelor party or bachelorette party to have an IV. So it is so important to micronutrition, to get it into the body at a cellular level. People say, well, I can take the vitamin C and I can do this and I can do that. But to get it in at a cellular level is really, really important to do it that way. So, again, there's other conditions. You can visit our website at NuWellness, as new is NU, wellnesshealthcare.com. Visit our website, and there's a nice list of conditions that that we can actually address with IV nutrition. Thank you very much, NuWellness Healthcare, for being our wonderful sponsor for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. And we're back to my guest here. And I just want to say, again, thank you for being here. And we're going to move on because we don't want to miss anything, because I have the second segment coming up with my dear associate, Marie, and Dining Out Healthy with Dr. Lee and Marie. And today we have some wonderful, wonderful, delicious, wholesome food that we're going to be showing you today. So it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Okay, back to you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So what I would like to say very quickly,
I want to say stay focused.
stay focused.
This way.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everybody talks about this ring, putting an engagement ring on, or what does that all mean? Different cultures also sometimes have it over here. If you give yourself a ring, and many of us do, we're actually married to ourselves for a while, which is totally fine.
We're on this finger here now?
And with this finger here. What this means is if you give yourself your own ring and someone meets you to try to get to know you, it's really saying in your subconscious to that person, hi, I want to get to know you. We can be companions, but I'm not really wanting to wed or anything. I'm okay by myself.
Yes.
So if you're looking for someone to really partner with in a strong, like lifelong relationship thing, do leave that open with nothing there. That is the heart finger, and actually instead wear a ring there. The more you have a ring that doesn't look like a wedding ring, but is something that's really pretty and fun.
I guess to see that finger, that's important.
This finger, this is the finger. The more you have this going, it'll generate this person's interested and open for someone to come there. But do not wear the diamond ring you had from the last wedding there. It'll intimidate the other person. They'll still think there's somebody else in the subject. They won't approach you. Do not intimidate a potential wooer by wearing any rings that look like a wedding-like ring, or they'll be afraid to ask.
Okay.
And that's what often goes on.
Well, I used to wear one there because I didn't want to be bothered.
And that's exactly right. When you don't want to be bothered, that's exactly right. And then here's the pinky here. If you wear a ring here and say you're married or really partnered with someone and you wear a pinky ring, that means you'll bring money home that will support this person. If you're married here and you wear a ring there, it means I'll be married to them and I want to run away.
Hold your fingers up. Like we this is so important. I want our guests to see, so we want the camera to pick that up, which finger, because it's a little low. And
okay.
Yeah.
Let me get it higher.
So go ahead now and point to those fingers, because that's the wedding.
So the wedding finger is best if you're looking for someone to love you. Leave it alone. Leave it open. So you say, I am really open. The middle finger ring, the left middle finger ring, if you wear a ring there, it means I'm taking care of myself right now. Thank you very much. But if you get tired of it, take it off. You'll be paying all your bills alone. You won't be able to get too much help. If you do want help, give this ring something. I'm going to sit here till people come to me, and I'll be nice about it, but this is a ring for people to help me. This ring is a good ring to stay away from unless you want to clean out everybody else's drawers and they don't give you enough attention. And that's how often we have relationships. We do everything for everyone else, and we wonder why they're not there.
Yes.
Now, the goddesses, sometimes they'll come to workshops and they will wear an exotic ring, and they will wear a ring here and here, which I don't overdo. This is kind of like playing a joke on you, and they will masterfully woo some in today on Tuesday and get rid of him by Friday. But she's having a good time with him, and she runs the show. So do watch that. Be careful.
Okay.
All right?
Because I don't, now that we talk about men, I mentioned that a moment ago, I don't notice men having on too many rings.
More you're going to see men with the left middle finger ring.
Yes.
Now, I say if they're in a rock band and they're rocking out, you bet. You have him going. He's wearing that ring. It's a way for him to get his tension out. But it is also a way to hold anger. So when they're wearing a ring there too long, be careful. He's got some anger. I saw a couple at a hotel where both of them were wearing big middle finger rings, and I could tell it was one of their first romantic weekends. But by the third weekend, they're going to be fighting. Why? She's going to want her way. He's going to want his way.
These two.
So these are good when you're out in the world. When you walk down the street and you're wearing a ring on an index finger and you even see another person with a ring on their index finger, walk up to them and say, you're special. I'd love to know what you're doing out in the world. Let's connect. I promise you, it's as good as Facebook. You'll have a great time.
My. Oh, my goodness. All these wonderful little tips. I'm sure a lot of people are going to try this out. We should have had you here with Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Well, you can take it to the spring because that's when more love starts coming out.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anytime is a good time. Anytime is a good time. So I'm just now. What are some of the case studies that you found that was really a lot different?
I had a couple heartbreaks, and I want to share this with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation. Can you hear me over there?
Yes.
Okay. Someone came in with a ring on their right ring finger and their right middle finger ring. This is a very odd, tough, suffering combo. And what happens is this can mean I want to have a long-term relationship, but I'm willing to suffer with someone I should have gotten rid of a long time ago. So when you see that, it's someone who's often smiling through, often someone that's quite codependent to someone with a major disorder or so he's screwing around on her and she's willing to stay. Or there are times I've done some consulting at businesses and it's the person that's doing the running around.
Okay.
So I saw one time, I was in the audience of the Dr. Phil show. A guest came up. The wife was crying that the husband was running around the gym picking up all these women. And I said to my friend, I'll bet he's got those 2 rings on. And he did. And he sat there in front of all the world and said, I should be able to have my wife and have other people too. And there he had these 2 rings together.
My goodness.
So when you see that somebody's suffering, causing someone else to suffer, and they have a lot of drama, don't do it.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that a killer?
It certainly is.
Break your heart.
It certainly is. My goodness. So that's something the person really needs to take in because that says a lot. That says a lot, and especially to hear the story right in front of you manifesting.
If you want to know how you're doing in relationships or how you're feeling, all you've got to do is look down. It is right there. And if you're not into rings, because not everyone is, and you're wearing no rings, and you're natural about it, and you're happy, it's just fine. But if you say sometimes, I'm in a rut, what else is there? Put a ring on your right index finger. Otherwise, what you're saying with the no rings, I'll just take what comes my way. I don't care. I just settle. I give up putting out to the world what I really want. Allow the world to know, what are my intentions? What do I really, really want? Put it out there. Say it out loud. Tell someone who's going to support your dreams and not someone who's going to step on them.
And those are the people who wear no rings. Because I used to wear no rings after my divorce and other things. I just didn't wear any rings at all.
Yeah, needed a break.
Yeah. But then but that was years I didn't wear one at all for thereafter. So I can sympathize on some of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I certainly can. So now I do. I do wear one now.
And we're going to give you another one today for that left index finger, just because you put out so many beautiful things, Dr. Lee, and then you just bring them on back.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Just like your being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I know my associate who's here with me to do the Dining Out Healthy, Marie, she brought up the question too. She's not with us on air yet, but she brought up toe rings.
Toe rings are adorable, and they really make me think about the song of Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Okay.
And when I first met my husband, George, he gave me a toe ring, and I called my best friend, Marcia. I said, Marcia, what do I do? She goes, take the ring and work up. But actually, I couldn't jog very well on it, and it made me feel like this is a casual thing. But you know what, George? I like you more than that. I took it off. He ended up taking off his, and we did get engaged. So if you want to have fun, put those toe rings on. But if you want somebody to walk you down the aisle, take them off for a while. They're not going to get you home to his mother.
Okay. Wonderful. Now, you mentioned you have been married a couple times here.
Yes, I have. I bring my clients many mistakes. Yes, I do.
And I know I'm laughing because I've done the same. So now you're in a wonderful, loving relationship.
Yes, and I tell you, there are partners, and there's patterns we still have to work on. Mm-hmm. And I find that while I don't wear the middle finger rings, I still can have some of it, because Also in the right middle finger ring, if you have a ring there, you might be inclined to nag or ask or make too many requests. And sometimes I find I can ask for a lot. Like he says the request window is open or the request window is shut.
Okay.
So if I want to make sure I'm not too asky or too lechy or this kind of thing, I'll wear a ring here and here so I know my needs are met.
Oh, you.
And I'll only ask one thing at a time. If you want to rock and roll in your power, wear a ring on your right ring finger, your right index finger, and your left index finger, and you'll be more inclined to say, okay, think one at a time before over asking. Because I know I'm a person that can go into flailing like, oh my gosh, my needs aren't going to get met. Yes, they are, Barbara. Stop thinking it's all about you. There's other energies here to help me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten this far.
Yes, most definitely. You've come a long way.
Thank you.
And you're blessed. The third it was a keeper.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks
so
much, Doc.
I've been married once, so I there's maybe some hope.
You're
I shouldn't say it that way.
You're a
but
keeper, Doc, and we're going to get you more rings, honey, all the way.
Okay. Now, this has been wonderful. It has been really, really great. You have something, 'cause before we run out of time, you have something pressing that you want to share with our audience here?
I think something pressing that I have today is this, that we get so caught up in texting, and even when we're in front of each other, we're texting somebody else, but we're not connecting with them. I'm going to make a statement. I am a stance for be careful of middle finger rings. It just means I can take care of it all myself and I don't need you. Sometimes it's just where the ring happens to fit and it looks good. Do it once in a while. But I do believe in this index finger ring. Connect across the table. Wear the ring to connect it to. We need to connect more in relationship so we don't get independent to where we're isolated.
Yes.
We're getting more and more isolated today. We think we're independent because we can work that machine so much better than everybody else. But where is that getting? I would like to get to know you. Put the phone down. Turn it off. Get rid of it. Throw it in the ocean. Let Siri get mad at you. But wear the ring here. And wear it in love that, yes, I want to get deeper with you.
Wonderful. I love that. That's so wonderful.
Thank you.
Very powerful and beautiful.
Thanks.
As you are.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, if a person wanted a consultation with you, how would they go about?
I still love the phone because I go through it all the time. Call me at 909-786-7201. That's 909-786-7201. I'm in Los Angeles all the time. I'm not stuck somewhere between here and who knows where. I love my my phone number, 909-786-7201. Let's talk. Look down at your hands. Be thinking of your intention. What's something new you want to bring in? What do you want to let go? Let's talk, because there's nothing like connecting.
Oh, my goodness. That is so wonderful.
Thank
so
you.
wonderful. Makes me want to call you right now, even though you're sitting here.
Well, you're welcome to.
But we're going to talk after the show. Thank
And you know what
so
you get
much.
after today?
Oh,
you get a
yes.
free Ring Shui party, Doc. You get to invite anybody, and I'll come, rings and all, and we'll drink the champagne, and we'll just discuss.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to know where we're going to have this party, give me a call
Okay.
at 310-419-4300. Call us at NuWellness Healthcare.
Let's have it.
Because also with our health, the positions of the rings on our health, can you just touch on that just a little bit?
I will tell you, when I stand in line to go to the doctor, and if there's people with chronic disorders, they will be wearing their thumb ring. They love that thumb ring. It makes them feel like they have power in the family, like what they say goes. But they are doing everyone's laundry. They are spreading bills around that they can't pay. They have to pay Peter to Paul. They are getting in over their head, taking care of mom, kid, and they never ask for help. These people get sick, and they wear the ring on their right thumb. Please, folk, do it a day at a time, but not more than that.
Okay.
Care
Very
about
good.
you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And again, thank you, Barbara Berg, for
Thanks,
being
Bob.
here today on the NuWellness TV show. And it's TV and radio, because this show is also broadcast on UBN radio station, iTunes, and so many places. But you can go to, if you missed the show or want to share it with someone, you can always go to our YouTube channel, which is NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee, and share the show with your friends. Or go to NuWellness TV NuWellness.com and go to the website. I want to again thank you so very
Thanks
much.
So much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Don't leave. She comes on for the second half. Okay. Now, we're going to go with our wonderful Dining Out Healthy with Dr. Lee and Marie. Thank you so much, Marie. We didn't really dine out this time. We dined in. So we're going to talk about dining in and these wonderful dishes or amazing food that Marie had prepared this weekend. They were absolutely delicious. I'm still full. They were wonderful. So we're going to talk about the dishes, and they were all vegan.
Yes.
They were all vegan. And just kind of tell some people how you put this wonderful meal together. I have daughters that love cooking, and one of them actually loved this particular dish herself. So go ahead.
Okay,
please.
I'm not sure what dish we're talking about right now. Well, anyway, this weekend we were deciding what to do, and I had to really resonate and decide what I was going to make to share on screen live today.
Yes.
And so the dish I have up here is zucchini. It's a zucchini pasta. I got a new gadget, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to play around with it. And so when I make my meals, first of all, when I go shopping, I'm always mindful of what I'm purchasing and where I get my food. And then I do a whole a ceremony on it, who I'm having at my table, and what kind of intention and energy I want to put into this food for the evening. And so this is a zucchini pasta with wild mushrooms and some fresh tomatoes. And I made a pesto sauce out of fresh kale, which was yummy delicious. And we enjoyed that a lot.
And I want to tell people, too, on the zucchini has so many health benefits.
Yes,
this is a health show, so we want to tell people, adding this to your menu and not doing the pasta and staying away from the gluten foods, you could still have a delicious dish without the pasta.
Absolutely.
So this is so important, and this is what I want people to see in this picture, that we don't have to do pasta, and there's so many variations of the zucchini.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
you could have prepared it with a marinara sauce organically, and you make your own marinara sauce.
I do.
Yes, you do.
And pesto. This was a kale, basil, and Italian parsley pesto, which came out delicious, and it was yummy. And then our other dish, I'm not sure if it's up on the screen just yet. We made several different dishes. I wanted to share. It was so much fun. This one here, this was a garbanzo bean salad, and that's really spicy. It's kind of an Indian dish, so it's marinated with cumin, cilantro, some celery, some green onions, and it's all tossed together with a little bit of virgin olive oil, and it just sits, and it's delicious. It's a nice little flavorful dish. And sometimes I put a little chili in it to kind of spice it up a bit.
Yeah, and you know, a good thing about this salad with the celery, which is a good cooling for the body, even though you have the chili, it's really a good fiber. It's one of the highest fibers for help cleansing the colon. So a person eat all this wonderful meal, they don't have to worry about later elimination, because we got some great good fiber in this dish, which was actually delicious. So I think I probably ate most of it that night.
And the potatoes.
No, I really killed it on the potatoes. Okay.
Yes, so we did. This is a spaghetti squash recipe, which I've been trying to play with and have fun with it. And it's so simple. And the thing about cooking, you can make it simple. Simple ingredients, and the importance also is putting the passion behind and the love when you're cooking your food. I think that's truly important, because I can give the recipe to 5 different people. It's all going to taste different. It depends on where it's coming from and the love that you put into your dish.
Exactly.
And it's very healthy and very nutritious. It's also very filling for those people who have to have that substance of that comfort food.
Right.
So.
And you know, I've watched you in the kitchen, so you cook with such passion.
I do.
You know, and you could just see the joy in her face and how wonderful, and the aroma. And that's what really makes a difference. A gentleman years ago was preparing hamburgers, and people was wondering, why was his line so long? And he said, well, I don't know. Every time I flip the burger, I flip it with love. And he said, because he didn't use anything different, but he flipped those burgers with love. And you cook with such passion. My youngest daughter, well, all 3 of my daughters cook with love too. So when you cook with love and passion, you can tell, you can see, you can taste it in the food. It's just something about the food, and it makes you feel even better. So I thank you for who you are as you prepare these wonderful dishes.
Thank you.
And we have And that's going to...
That was kind of the whole spread that we did, from the potatoes and Brussels sprouts.
I should remember that. The potatoes with the Brussels sprouts and the health benefits. We'll do a show and talk about the Brussels sprouts. What they do for the human body is amazing. People go online and Google Brussels sprouts and health benefits. You're going to eat Brussels sprouts every single day.
I make them weekly.
Yeah, they're wonderful. So I just want to thank everyone. And oh my goodness, we had a great time. We had a feast this weekend, and it's on the screen now. So I just want to thank you so much, Maria, for the love and passion. And you're doing your passion. That's why you look great and you're happy. You know, you don't look stuck. You know, so many people look stuck and unhappy, but you're happy because you're living your passion, and that's feeding the world.
Yes.
You know, even with your nonprofit organization,
we eat to live.
We eat to live, and that's what we do. We do eat to live. We shouldn't live to eat. So
absolutely,
which is not so good. That's why we have a lot of obesity. So I want to thank you very, very much for your segment of the show. It is so powerful, and we're going to be doing more and more and more each week. Just tune in. I want to thank my guest who was here with me today, and Barbara Berg, and we had a wonderful, wonderful time. So please share this show with your friends and family, and just see how things start to happen for you as you share this information, because each one teach one, and sometimes what we don't know can hurt you. You know, so subtle things can make a change in your life. Just see how it works for you. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. And as I always say, which I'm wearing my wonderful badge today, repeat after me. I am so grateful.
So grateful
that I am a magnet for miracles.
For miracles.
Amen.
And everyone, be blessed. Join us next Wednesday.
Thank you so much.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.